Tell me that you're coming through. Oh, you're so sweet, so tight. I won't bite unless you like. If you smoke, what you smoke? I got the haze. And if you're hungry, girl, I got filet. Ooh, baby, don't keep me waiting. There's so much love we could be making. I'm talking kissing, cuddling, rose petals in the bathtub. Girl, it's jumping, it's bubbling. I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open.
Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge. My guest is an award-winning actor, singer, dancer, and choreographer. You know him from such Broadway shows as Hamilton, In the Heights, and Hands on a Hard Body. He has an amazing YouTube channel that features some of his wonderful dance pieces and his very popular pop-up classes. Please say hello to Jon Rua.
Hi everyone, how you doing?
Hey Jon, so first off, how are you, my friend, and where are you?
Right now I'm in Astoria, Queens, New York. I am doing well. I actually am, per usual, in the midst of trying to run to a studio to create some material for a pop-up class I'm actually doing this afternoon. And I'm also in the midst of doing some rewrites for, that's my dog, some rewrites for a play that I have been commissioned to write. So yeah, I'm doing that.
Wonderful. I love your look because let's talk about your look first, because this is what you wear for these wonderful pop-up classes, right?
Basically, I would say, if you were to take a knight and like all of their undergarments and put them in today's day and age, that's sort of my wardrobe. It's very sparing, basic, and contrasting, and it works out. So the irony that most of my work is in the quality of the work as opposed to the presentation of it. Perhaps that's me. I have a tank top, and this is generally how I teach my classes, and we just go for it and we create art.
I love it. Now, since the theater is opening up again, not just here in New York, but across the country and around the world, have you been able to put the past 18 months into perspective?
Yes, I would say in regards to the arts or life in general.
Both.
The past 18 months have been, if I were to give it a sentence, it's the opportunity to evolve. And I've certainly taken that opportunity and have gratitude. And it's also reaffirmed my my purpose. And with that being said, within the past 18 months, I've taken time to really create and do my best to honor my path and my journey and what it is going to be my trajectory. You know what I mean? To each, everyone has their own, and that's where you have to sort of reside in, as opposed to living in a comparative state of mind or anything else. There's, just sort of go forth with all your life force, if that makes sense.
It makes lots of sense. Beautiful. I love it. It was very positive for you during this. That's great to stay creative during that time period.
Trying my best. Like, I mean, certainly there was what I mean by it is that you have a choice. You either you lean into the falseness or you lean into the truth, and so you got to alchemize. And we're here to spread joy. We're here to give love. We're not here to do the other stuff. So that's what I focused on.
I love that. I want to go back to the beginning, because your path to becoming a sensational, successful dancer didn't happen the usual way of people starting dance class at like 3 and 4 and 5 and all of that. Where did your love for dance begin, and how did you get involved in wanting to be a dancer?
So I started marching band because I had a free instrument. I would always love move and dance and stuff. So the marching band teacher eventually got everyone to join the musical theater program, although it was not a musical theater program like these performing arts high schools. It was just a musical theater program where the marching band people were just like hobbying over to musical theater. Next thing you know, I was doing musicals and stuff, but I didn't really know what was going on. I sort of did it as a hobby with my friends. So I danced in those shows, but I didn't even know what a dance studio was. So after I graduated high school, I went to Rutgers University for public relations. And then I met my first mentor by the name of Tom McKee, who was teaching hip hop at a recreational gym over at Rutgers University when I was about 19 or 20. And I took my first real dance class. In a sense that it was with someone I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. We warm up, we're taking class combinations. I have no idea. Then he showed me around the city. I started falling in love with dance through that. It was always a thing I did at bar mitzvahs and sweet 16s. It was stuff that I did because there was music on. That's what we do. But I didn't know what dance exactly was. So I could never call myself a dancer, especially when you know what a dancer really is. So essentially, that's how it started up. And then I realized when I graduated college at the university, I said, I really love this. Should I give it a shot? But I don't really know what to do because I've never really taken dance. So I didn't really start formally getting involved until about 2021. And then I started just going to these underground house conferences, learning the material, applying it to myself, and then just jumping into the New York scene right away. And because I had to do that, I had to learn how to audition while I was doing it at the same time, because I didn't come from a lot of money, so I had to work right away. So it was sort of this hyper exponential experience of learning, applying, training, and then taking the risk in these auditions to be seen and move forth.
I'm amazed by all of this because, you have quite a history with Lin-Manuel Miranda. You made your Broadway debut in his hit musical In the Heights. I mean, what was that audition like? I mean, everybody in the world wanted to be in that.
Well, the irony is I was so at the time I didn't have an agent, and I asked the agent at the time, hey, would you sorry, in other words, I went to an audition for an agent call. I didn't get it. I was in the final rounds. I didn't get it. So then I started crashing calls. When I crashed a call, for an artist, an Atlantic Records artist, and I booked it. That choreographer then called the agency and said, you need to be working with him. So then the agency picked me up. So I said, okay, now I started working with these agencies. I said, I think I want to do more theater stuff too. I think I can do that stuff. And they're like, no, you're our hip hop kid. You that's not what you're going to do. That's what they said to me. So I said, oh, okay, cool. Then I decided to crash other calls. So I went to like a Telsey casting of Rent. And I didn't know how this business worked. So Telsey's casting off Broadway in the Heights. I get a call randomly that, hey, we want to see you for a part of In the Heights. And I was like, what's going on? I don't even know what's going on. So I went to the audition. They wanted me to sing No Pare, Sigue, Sigue. And they don't even do that now, but that was the audition material at the time. And then later on, they asked me to come in for Usnavi Sunny as an understudy. Now, this is how much I was raw. At the time, I was just freestyling, like learning how to do stuff and then picking up a song or something. So when they called me in, immediately I sang and I did the sides for Usnavi and Sunny. I remember Tommy and Lynn and all them behind the table, and they were very nice. And I don't know, now in retrospect, I was seeing how they were, as I speak to you, they were meeting me in a way that I believe, felt resonated with whom and what they do. And so then I went into the other audition room with Andy Blankenbuehler. And I started freestyling, and Michael Balderrama, who was a dance captain at the time, started freestyling as well. And I was like, wait, this is kind of cool. I mean, that's really nice that someone's really so supportive. And then Joey Dowling, who's like a Broadway, and choreographer source, was much and taller than me. I had to partner her. I was like, I don't even know how to partner. So I'm like partnering in the room and trying to figure it out. Next thing you know, I get the call that I'm in off Broadway in the Heights, and I booked it. And I'm such a guy who didn't know. I had a job in Puerto Rico that I said, okay, in the Heights, I'll come back in a month. I got to go do this job. And they're like, okay. So then I came back afterwards and I booked Off Broadway in the Heights. I did the commercial. Andy saw something in me and he called me to come join him in his studio to be a part of his, essentially a skeleton pre-production crew so I was about 23 when that happened. And then that's exactly when I started learning. And then I had to audition for Broadway in the Heights at the same time. So all that sort of went down. And that's when I did Dame Yankee City Center with Jane Krakowski and Sean Hayes. It was just me crashing these calls and then eventually an agent picking me up. But I was going to these calls to figure it out. Like for Dame Yankees, I had to do all Fosse, but I've never learned Fosse. So I made sure my voice was good and I was singing well. And then two of us booked it. And it was me and Adam Perry out of it that did it. And the irony that neither of us had an agent at the time. We were just sort of doing it.
See, this is what I love about people's careers. Everybody says you have to do this, this, and this. You do not. Everyone has to find their own way in to the business. And I'm fascinated by this. I was like, I can't believe this.
This is
these gigs.
It's especially because, and for people who might be listening, I did not go to school for formal dance, classically training. So I knew as I was applying myself as a fundamental dancer in hip hop and house and like other styles, I was open to whatever came. You know what I mean? In the Heights was all partnering. I had to learn salsa on too. And so immediately I knew I need to get my vocals and my acting at another tier as well. And that's what I felt. So I was always training that at the same time in order to diversify myself so that I can really have opportunities and to do the things I really wanted to do, which was storytell and be a vessel for it.
I love this. Okay, so let's go back to In the Heights for a second because you eventually stood by for Sonny and Graffiti Pete. Did you go on?
Oh yeah, I mean, I eventually became Sonny and became Graffiti Pete on Broadway. So I was those roles. Those were my roles for extensive times, and then I was the understudy for Usnavi. So I would always go on. My first job was to swing 9 parts, and Lynn would tease me because I would walk around and be like, 9 tracks, I'm 9 tracks. And because at the time I was like, who's doing 9 parts? And little do I know, a lot of people do, but I had to understudy 6 ensemble members and 3 principal members, and at any given rate go on, and eventually got promoted. But that's I always went on. It was wonderful. I met a lot of people, friends who I have now saw me go on. You never know. People go to these Broadway shows and to this day I'll meet someone, they're like, oh yeah, you were my Usnavi or you were my Sonny. And I was like, wow, it was a time,
Okay, so do you remember the first time you went on for Usnavi?
I do. I remember the first time. It was I think it was like June of 2009, I believe. Yeah, June of 2009. I knew when I was going on because someone had like a day off. I think at this point Javier was in the track, so he had to take the day off, and I went on, and it was amazing. And the beautiful part about not going to a conservatory or formal training for this is the rawness stays with you in a way. I mean, I've trained, but there's this connection to why the thing was created, why it was birthed. And that energy, and so I resonate fully with that and commit myself to that, and I got to do that with Usnavi, and it was a beautiful thing, especially because most people knew me as the dancer. Oh, he's a dancer, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go out here and do this thing. So it was really lovely because the cast was very supportive, and they, I became someone that they enjoyed in the part.
I love your story. I didn't know all of this. I'm fascinated by this. Okay, so you're also in the original Broadway cast of Hamilton, another Lin-Manuel Miranda show.
Yeah.
In the role of Charlie Lee. And you eventually took over for Alexander Hamilton too, right?
Yeah, so the trajectory, just because I realized this is something I forgot to. I actually did bring it on with Lynn as well. I created it in Atlanta, and then when it went to go to on tour, I ended up doing a play with Matthew Lopez before The Inheritance. It was called Somewhere over at the Old Globe. After Somewhere, then I reconnected with Lynn and them when they were doing early readings of Hamilton. We did the first one at Lincoln Center, the American Songbook. And then we just started doing readings along the way. So I was a part of the sort of creative process of that and watching it flourish, what Lynn was creating. So I ended up becoming Charles Lee and was a part of the foundational company of Hamilton. And then I was understudy for Hamilton throughout Broadway. And then when I left the show to go choreograph some other shows and do some other, I was very interested in getting my world wrapped around plays and TV
Yeah.
film. I got called back to do the Hamilton alternate for a period of time. So I became Alexander Hamilton alternate for like 2 months, and I really got a chance to finally go on with like a knowing when I was going to go on in a set amount of time period. And that was really beautiful. And the wonderful thing is, at the time that I went to do it, the cast was transitioning from original cast to the next cast, but I was an original company member to share that tonality and that texture with the cast who hadn't been with the original cast. So it was a very marrying of the worlds. It was beautiful to have that experience, and wonderful people I got to do the part for, friends, families, respected artists. It was a very amazing experience.
Okay, so everybody who I've spoken to the Hamilton cast, I've had the Broadway cast, the off-Broadway cast, the tour cast. I've asked cast members, did you ever go up during the show? Did you ever go to the White Room? Did that happen for you, Jon?
Are you kidding me? Sorry to clear my voice. I think the nerves came back. I think essentially the first time I ever went on as Ham, Lynn and Javier, this was during the original December 20th, 2015. I remember this. 2015, because it was 3 hours before the show. We had an idea this might happen. We didn't know. Jason Bassett goes, Jon, you're on today. Now, I haven't had a put in. I haven't had a full understudy run. I've just literally been doing it kind of when I can with sparse rehearsals here and there. I go up, I go on. I knew it was going to be a interesting show because when you come out, you go, Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton. That whole part. Right when Lynn comes out, generally speaking, there's a huge applause. I came out and it was dead silence. And I can sense, I was like, okay, this is going to be an evening or an afternoon. And so I went through the whole show and it was a beautiful experience, beautiful experience. But there was one moment, I thought I was good. There was one moment where it was, my dearest Angelica, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow keeps in a steady pace from day to day. I sat down at the table. I put my glasses on. I said, the song has started. I am not singing. I do not know what words are supposed to be coming out. Literally the cold, the fury inside of my body. I was sitting there going, I'm supposed to be singing. I have no idea. And everyone knows I am because this album's on Spotify. Everyone knows what words are supposed to be being said right now. And I have no idea what I'm saying. So it was like, all I heard was, creeps in his petty pace from day to day. And I came in at that moment. And I knew the cast was off stage going. So there's also that, because with the show of Hamilton, there's so many words. It's probably one of the most terrifying and liberating experiences there are, because you truly have to just say, I know this, and it will come out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. In that moment, I said, all right, here we go. And then every word flourished and I got to do it. But in that moment, it was a white room. There are moments where literally the song is about to start and you go, I don't know what the next word is, but here we go. And then everything you do, all that work that you do comes back.
But like I said, it's a badge of honor now because everyone has gone up. But I'm sure in the moment, everyone's like, I'm on the turntable, it goes around or whatever. And they're like, I've totally forgot where I am.
But you know what the wild part is? As a Hamilton, I was a swing before.
Yeah.
So I was aware of everyone around me, meaning I knew who was in what place. I knew if the guy who was in my part was in the right place or not. At some part, I was like, all right, I started doing things that I had to do to figure it out. So. Yeah.
I love that. Well, the fans love it because I'm sure there were a lot of fans in the house that night. They were like, yeah, he's going up. He's going to the White Room.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but maybe some fans are like, they either have a lot of empathy or like they're waiting for this with popcorn. I don't, one or the other.
I love it. You know, Jon, so many people use social media just to be flashy or to have a viral video or whatever. But what I love about what you do is you use it to show some amazing complete dance pieces. Talk about the pieces you put up on your fabulous YouTube channel, and where can people find them?
What I do, honestly, especially if you're an artist in New York, it's hard to compete with people who are either have a lot of high production value or perhaps focus their energies in one medium. I've been blessed and also have made the commitment to wear multiple hats. That being said, I've always worked on the quality of my work being of utmost importance. If you live in New York, you know living in New York is also a job. It's not just living in New York. That being said, I've focused on creating work, and a lot of that work has led to beautiful experiences and beautiful pieces that a lot of people on social media whom are now well adjusted to the instant gratification or the presentation or the production value or whatever it may be, may sometimes not have the time or the patience to lock in those 10 seconds and go, wait, what am I watching here? My work has led me to co-creatively direct and choreograph Phish at the New York Madison Square Garden New Year's Eve sold out concert. I mean, 22,000 people, 45-minute set, 42 people. This is all on my YouTube channel. Coheed Cambria is a very well-respected and renowned rock band who's essentially going on a cruise line right now, and they have their own cruise line. I'm going to teach on their cruise line because of the fans' awareness. I've choreographed for the Muni, Milwaukee Rep, Two River Theater's coming up. I've influenced a few Broadway shows just in my vocabulary. These things are live shows, so not often can they be seen, but some have been allowed to share some of my work of it on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram. All of them are there, but they're works of art in the sense that there isn't this sort of 14 people doing really fast, synchronized movement, flashy thing. This is works of art, no different than if you go to the theater. And generally speaking, I think because most things that get seen online are viral, a lot of things get lost in the sauce, as one would say. So I pride myself on being able to do a lot of live work and a lot of TV film work. So cinematic work. I've also assisted Christopher Gattelli on SpongeBob, The Cher Show, Isn't It Romantic? These are wonderful projects. A lot of things can be seen in their early stages, BTS or class combinations on my YouTube channel or my website or social or my Instagram. I wished more people would see, because I think a lot of people know me as Jon Rua, let's say from Hamilton or whatever they know me from. And they immediately presume that I'm up to something. And it's be vulnerable here and share. I'm always up to something, but that something might not be something that is something you'll ever see. It might be something quite possibly that lives on my YouTube channel or an IG video that is a very good work, or a personal passion project that have led to other things. And one goes, wow, I've never seen this video before. And I'm like, oh, it's right there. No one's taken the time to see it because they don't know how to, or they haven't been told to. So, BroadwayWorld is wonderful, and they've always followed along with my work. And it's very nice to be able to share that these things have birthed how I've choreographed my own version of West Side Story, literally my own version, and then been able to do independent projects with different collaborative artists that have led to me getting to Madison Square Garden or Atlantic City Boardwalk, or, on tour with a rock band or music videos, whatever the case may be. And versions of my own shows. I've choreographed my own version of Aida, of Jesus Christ Superstar. Now I'm doing a new project with Andy Tippie called The Hombres that I'm in and I choreographed. It's a yoga dance sort of piece solo. These are things that are all out there, but one may not know because the production quality isn't flashy or things like that. And we notice that a lot of things get visible are flashy production quality or a viral video. Recently, I've been doing a lot of pop-up classes. These pop-up classes are me essentially getting high caliber Broadway or non-Broadway contemporary or music video or commercial dancers to come into my classes in a city and learn material. I put up those videos and people love the work. To be quite fair, you know, Jerry Mitchell and all them, they're always watching my work. It's the masses that don't always see the work. And I believe that we have a responsibility of influencing what work is out there. I don't want storytelling to get lost. And I feel as if today's day and age, storytelling might get a bit abundantly available. And so I believe that I make storytelling very accessible for the dancer and the non-dancer. And so I do that in my work. I think a lot of people see it and love it, but it doesn't grab people on a medium that is a minute long. You know what I mean? Like if we were to put old Sunday in the Park with George, right? And put that on Instagram now, would it go viral? Would people even see it? I don't know. I don't think people know how to sit on the thing for a while. It's not their fault. It literally is how it's constructed to work. So TikTok has also made the thing change a lot. One says, John, you should do TikTok. I go, you know, the reason I don't do TikTok is because one video is interspersed with the other. Are they really any different than the other? I'm trying to create something that is a bit more filled with story and purpose, and that might be not what the medium is created for.
Yeah.
So that being said, a lot of my stuff is available on YouTube, Instagram, and my website. I think I finally cleared it. Thank you for all of you who have been with me on the clearing journey. And because of it, I've been commissioned by a theater to write and choreograph my own play. For all you who are hearing this play will come to fruition, no different than others that have been on their journey. And this play takes in part some of the questions you've asked me about how my journey has started. And the play is called Teenage Soul. I've also created another show that's going to become a limited series called Struggle City. This is for TV and or film. Now, that is early stages. I bring this up because, you know, we inform what art can be. Hamilton informed what art could be. And we think that we're watching it as it happens, whether we know that the artists today have we have an impact, an influence on what it can be. No difference than I did in my involvement in Hamilton. That being said, viewers, you have an impact, no different than your vote in any election or in any sort of online survey. What could be? So I share this to say that if you have any time and you are curious in my work and want to see something, you know, BroadwayWorld has been so kind to offer me the opportunity and share my work. Go down the wormhole, go down the rabbit hole, and I will assure you that I will provide for every song a different feel and story, and you will have a sensation through dance, but beyond the dance, to really tell a story. And that's why I want to provide that for Broadway, and that's coming and will come, or any other medium, who knows. But I share it with because I believe that if it doesn't get shared on social media, it will get lost. Do you know what I mean? It won't get seen. That's just the nature of today's abundance availability of saturated commercial work. It's just what it is. And so that being said, if you ever want to see it, I have a playlist for pop-up classes. I have a playlist for things I've choreographed and directed. A lot of things have been 1 million+ views, but the Broadway community might not see it. And I'm a Broadway kid. I'm a Broadway guy. Like I'm bred from Broadway. So I want to go, hey, one of your own is creating work that's in and out of the medium. You know, I want to share it with you guys, and BroadwayWorld is a place that perhaps you can go find it.
Okay, so we're just about out of time. So where can they find your different social medias and your website, John? Tell everybody.
YouTube / Jon Rua, youtube.com/Jon Rua 814. Like, if you go to my website, all my links are there. If you go to my Instagram, there's a link tree /Jon Rua. My links are there. Essentially, you put in Jon Rua YouTube, you'll find my page. Jon Rua on IG, you'll find my page. I have a company called The Grit that has pages there as well. My IG and my YouTubers where all my dance stuff is, but my website is as well. Sometimes we get busy, we don't always update it. But those things where you want to see videos of my work on a constant revolving door, YouTube, Jon Rua, IG, Jon Rua, they're there.
See, I've been watching you all week, just so you know, and I've been sending links to young kids who want to start out in the business, because what I've told people here that are watching this, you can learn. You don't have to spend $35 in a dance class. You can go to something like Jon Rua's website and his pop-up classes and follow these right in your home. I've spoken to a lot of performers who are Tony nominees who said, I didn't have the money to do all this stuff, but there's a fountain of information out there. People are just willing to look. And like I said, all your stuff is so wonderful. Congratulations on the cruise ship. Congratulations on Teenage Soul. Congratulations on all the projects you're working on. But like I said, these pop-up classes are really important because you're working with Jon Rua. I mean, look, I just love your journey that you've taken. That's the most fascinating thing about when I was doing more research on you, is you did it your way. You didn't follow someone else's path of just saying, you have to have an agent, you have to have this, you have to have that. All you need to do is have talent, and hopefully those people will see you. And that's what you've done for yourself, my friend.
Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that very much. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
This is me.